What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack Productions. Today, Bankrupt joins again by Matt, as today we do a 3-Han taking on future Gohan and Trunks mono red version. Like always, just buttons. Feel free to click them, they're there for a reason. But let's get into it. What's going on, Matt?
Hey Bancroft, how you doing?
Doing all right. So, this is a deck you've kind of been on for a big grip, and I feel like every time you bring it, you just get better and better, and that always breaks down to the idea of like learning the matchups, learning when to go full force and when to hold back. And I will say this, we see that this game.
This was a really fun game. I had not played at locals in well over a month, I think, maybe even longer than that. Um, just with work schedule and some other stuff, I'm just not able to make it out all that much, unfortunately. But I really enjoyed this game, and I was really happy to, because for years and years, I was pretty much a red exclusive player, and I was really happy to see how strong Red is doing, even in the wake of the now not so recent Sin Shenron Gogeta 4 ban.
Yeah, yeah. There was a brief moment where we had green and yellow kind of upholding a few things, but this deck I absolutely love. Now, granted, I don't think it's winning any events lately, like big events, but it's the one that I absolutely enjoy.
There's and as many, people watching this channel likely know, there's a new Red floodgate that's kind of, changed things for Red in a lot of ways. And I think the next time I come to locals, I'm going to bring back my old multicolor Vegito, set 2 Vegito deck and play it with this new red floodgate that you'll see here later on in the game. And I don't think that's a spoiler to anybody.
Just remember
Um,
that you need a Z extra card in the field in order to get its full effect, or even I think even to
yes,
activate it.
yes, I do know that, and thankfully there are Z extra cards I can play with that deck. Um, but it will be fun to put that in there. Anyway, this game right now, the nothing super interesting's happened on my side, with the exception of I love Self Awakening. When at all possible with 3Han, because you do not have to waste 2 energy and a Z energy on the Self Awakening, or the Z battle card that allows you to awaken. So whenever possible, and Bancroft was, and he knows that you don't want to, swing into 3Han and give them the opportunity to do that, which is why I really enjoy the self awakening Gokus and Vegetas. The Goku, you take a life, it gains crit. The Vegeta, you take a life, it gains double.
This was a very good start of your turn. You had a crit attack, which was just I decided to take it. I just didn't want to lose any resources. I knew you were going to be able to awaken. We talked about your awaken is restand 2, which allows you to go even further in your turn. And then this leader's unique ability is that once per turn, when you send a card from the combo area to the Z energy, you get to restand energy. So I knew that you could full on maximize this turn if I wasn't careful. And I've already used my energy to play my Z extra cards. So like I'm tapped out. I just have what's in my hand and what's in my life. And
Yeah,
your
the only way. Oh, sorry. Go
I
ahead.
was saying, and your board's already starting to get a little bit scary.
The only way it could have been better for me is if I did not have to spend the 2 energy to play the Vegeta Z battle. One thing I learned, you see, I chose to play the Pan just now, is having never played Bancroft's played against the deck Bancroft is playing. I should have given the Piccolo barrier. I'm pleased to see how aggressive Red has become. As it concerns negging. Not to say that it never wasn't aggressive for negging, but it seems like it's really regained a step in that regard in the meta. And that's a mistake I hopefully won't make again, because Bancroft, do a lot of your negs ignore barrier?
So only the 8 drop, which can only be played on turn 4, which is the trunks.
Yeah, like losing, I think, and that just should have been, a common sense thing. If you're playing green, or if you're playing blue, you probably don't need to give the Piccolo barrier in most cases. But, against yellow and red, it's not the worst idea.
But here, like you swing with both, you attack twice with Piccolo, attack once with a double striker. I did combo out that one. I did neg that one by 5k for the turn just to keep it down a little bit. um, but yeah, that was a very aggressive turn. I did not like that. So
Yeah, and I felt like I had to, like because I know just how powerful Red's new floodgate is,
mhm,
and you got an energy tap, so you're not going to play it this turn.
yeah.
So it's like you just I have to inflict as much damage as humanly possible.
So I gotta talk about this real quick. There are three different Gohans that are for this deck. There's the one I just played, that activate main. You draw one card and you choose one of your opponent's battle cards negative by 20. There's a Gohan that it's in my drop currently that activate main. I draw one card, restand that card, and then there's a Gohan that on activate main. You play it, draw one card, and then activate main restand it, it gains double strike, and you can neg a card by 20k and or a battle card or a unison by 20k. Now, I actually got them kind of mixed together, and I did restand this one as part of its effect. Now, granted, it was still being in rest mode right now, and it doesn't actually do too much to change the effect of the game because I will swing into your Goku Black, and I will, I think, expend a resource to put up 220k just so I could challenge that card. And we'll see what happens when I do that. So we get it up there, and you immediately let it go, okay? And then I will pay one energy to play another
I
card,
apologize.
and I just don't even attack. I just leave it as is. I get the draw and go. If I didn't restand the card, if I would remember the actual full effect, I would have just played this Goku and swung and then swing into that. Probably still expend the resource to get it to 25, and you would have let it die anyways. And then you bounce my
And I was
cards.
legitimately disappointed that he did not take me 2-4 live.
I didn't want
Um,
to get you to super combo
yeah.
range.
The one thing I'm starting to learn the more I play Three-Han is I need to be more aggressive in protecting my battle cards. I build this large field, and then I tend not to combo off to protect them. Because I feel like most decks in the meta right now can do a pretty decent job of clearing the board when your cards are in rest mode. But I need to do a better job of valuing them as resources. And instead of just thinking in my head, I'll just rebuild the field next turn, it'll be fine. That's something I need to clean up going forward.
So we kind of mentioned earlier, explosive dance. In order to attack a game with battle cards or unisons, you have to, or non-leaders, you have to expend cards from your Z energy. As we saw, you kind of removed like 3 cards, which is good for me. But you had enough to do it, so I had to use my a negate to kind of stop the attack. I didn't block with it because I didn't know what else you could do for this turn, and I didn't know if you want to try to get another attack out there. So I just wanted to kind of be protective.
Yeah, it's my favorite counter in God. I don't, and this ages me in the game. I mean, I've been playing a long time, but not frequently. I'm one of those guys who plays like once a month for like 4 or 5 years. But it is literally my favorite counter since Is That All You Got, which at the time was just a game altering counter.
I want to talk about this quick interaction. The reason why I didn't, once again, I didn't want to put you to 4 life. I want to know if I hit you for an attack, it's putting you to 3 life instead. Because I feel like once Three Han's ability to draw back up to 3 cards is fantastic, and if you have a super combo, it gets even better. But if you can't use that super combo, or at least if you can't maximize that super combo's ability, it becomes a waste card, and then you're not getting as much resources when you go back up to 3 cards. So I just played the 4 drop, immediately used the effect to neg your secret rare by 20, and then play the other one neg it as well. And I'm like, cool, now I'll attack. But then you stop the attack, and then on your turn, as you see, you ate my cards again.
Yeah, this is. Are you at? Yeah, you're at 2 life
I'm at
right
2 life,
now.
yeah.
Yeah, and this is kind of where I'm starting to get really nervous because I've realized at this point that I'm going to have a real hard time breaking through and finishing you. And the longer I mean, if you're playing three Han and it's entering turn five, unless your secret rare is Baby Hatch, you're probably in a lot of trouble.
Hmm.
Um, and at this point, I'm like, Cell's probably my best play, but it's not what I would consider a high win likelihood play.
Yeah.
It was just, it's like, I'm probably screwed, but let's play the game out and see what happens.
And you thought about re-saying this up, but then you remembered that you need cards in your Z energy to even attack with it afterwards, so you decided not to do it and hang on to that for another turn.
Yeah, that was ultimately the oh yeah, because what was the mechanic that because of the dual attack mechanic, or what was the reasoning as to why I couldn't restand it without the Z energy penalty?
Well, you could reset it, but you just couldn't attack it because I had explosive dance you again.
So I wonder why I didn't restand it. That
Uh,
may have just been a mistake.
you didn't restand it, primarily because you mentioned in our match that you could save it for the next turn because it's an activate main ability to restand it by pitching cards underneath it. So that way, since you couldn't get the full effect off it this turn, next turn, if
Oh,
it survived,
that's right. Yeah, of course. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. The You're absolutely right. Because you only gain the bonus abilities if you pitch cards. So, yeah. So that's what I was thinking of. I couldn't recall that at the time.
well,
Or I couldn't recall
yeah,
that just now.
and unfortunately, you wouldn't get the triple attack out of it. Oh, sorry, triple strike, just because you need 4 cards underneath it to do it. This effect, if I recall correctly.
But I get at least get a
Oh
restand.
yeah, yeah, making a dual
Yeah.
attack crit, fantastic.
Yeah.
So here's the trunks we kind of mentioned earlier. Innately is a dual attack, which has an auto when this card attacks. You could combo with a trunks future card with injury cost of 1 from your drop, and then activate main for 2 energy, or use the leader's ability twice to kind of stack up your markers as a way of saying it to restand it nega card ignoring barrier by I think by 30k. So here I'm adding a couple of trunks, and one in these trunks all have I don't think I've talked about it all yet. One can give a Gohan or Trunks attacking card double strike. One can give a crit. One can give it barrier until end of your opponent's turn, and then one just by the activate battle to put in the combo area will negative card by 5k. And here I did the double strike. I got you down to 3 life now, and now I feel a bit more confident for the rest of the game. And I don't know why. Like getting you from 5 to 3 was like, I need to do this. I cannot put him to 4 because then I'm gonna have trouble.
And I could not remember, or I cannot remember if there was a negate in my hand at the time, but I feel like I essentially felt like I need resources and I need to be able to super combo. And, the smarter thing to do would have been, probably to, if possible, negate the double strike swing and then just let him take you to four. But I was getting increasingly nervous and I was like, it's resources. I can probably survive this turn. So let's see how it plays out.
And the card you negate with, great card. Has an auto when your opponent attacks your leader. You could put the bottom deck to give it a 5k boost. I almost attacked with Trunks to your lead. I'm like, no, wait. I want to attack into that battle card with my lead first. I just want to get rid of this attack out of the way. That way, that card doesn't give you any 5k boost, and then I can kind of go into another turn. And I think here I'm trying to apply crit.
Yeah, that was a really smart play. Essentially, what Bancroft is saying is like when the Goku Vegeta is in rest, it has an auto that when the leader is attacked, you can place it under the leader and it's functionally a bean for the turn. But the leader has to be attacked before you do it. So if the other player wants to has something he wants to swing at to get rid of the card or swing with to get at the card. Now here, before swinging at the leader, that is a very effective way uh, to prevent the bean essentially. One mistake I made here that I think Jimmy pointed out to me after the game is you see
It's not. It's not.
the
It's not at this point yet. But you
oh, it's not
could.
at this
But you
point.
could have done
I
it this
still
turn,
could
though.
have
You
done
could have
it.
done it this turn.
I'll
Yes.
talk about it anyway. I could have played the Goku Black for one energy, got him on the table and drawn a card, and then comboed him off the table. So I essentially would have been paying one to draw one. So that was a missed opportunity as at a resource, and that's something I need to remember going forward is never ever combo a Goku Black from your hand if you have an open energy and don't think you're going to need it. Just play it instead during the activate battle step, draw the card, and then combo it from the board.
Yeah. And we're continuing the theme of just either bouncing or removing our opponent's board because, like, you play this oob, which then bounces my card back to my Z energy, actually. Um, which I didn't like, but I was okay with because I use my Z energy during my turn to give my cards new effects in a sense. And I think you end up whiffing on the Goku Oob
Oh,
search.
in fact, it was so bad that I don't know if the people can see the on the video the search. I think you'll see that I on the search there were three of the five cards on top, three of them were super combo.
Oh man.
So that was just profoundly disheartening.
But you did immediately use the leader's ability to draw up to
To draw
three,
three,
and you
and
got a super
thankfully I
combo.
got one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here you're trying to get me down to right now one because this Goku Oob is a dual attacker, and it is a 15k dual attacker, so it's you're not expending too much of your energy to get those attacks off. But each
And the
attack is giving you more resources to your Z energy for a bigger card down the road.
and the other thing I was thinking about, and I just ultimately decided not to do it because I'm like, Bancroft's not going to fall for this. He knows what he's doing. Is I briefly debated playing the Goku Z battle card for I think it costs two Z energy and two energy. And when you play it, the activate battle on it is you discard it from the game, and then your Goku Oob gains triple strike and plus 15k. And I thought about that, and I was like, it's a waste of energy. Bancroft's never going to let the swing through. He has two open energies. He's not going to make that mistake.
I will say you if you would have played that, you wouldn't get that attack off though, because you would not have the resources in your Z energy to get that attack off.
Oh, you're right, because you'd already done
Yeah.
explosive. Yeah.
So
So yeah, it's a non-issue.
so you
Yeah.
played Beerus instead, which gets the 5k boost on auto. So you're able to only have to get rid of one card from your Z energy instead of having to get rid of like two cards. So that was kind of nice.
And the nice thing about Oob is he doesn't gain from a an explosive dance standpoint. He does not gain the 15k until the Goku is pitched. So if you have been explosive danced, you only have to satisfy the 15k for
Mhm.
the Goku. You don't have to satisfy the 30. That's during the
Oh,
activate
it's actually a
battle
battle.
step.
Yes. Okay. So yes.
Yeah, that's during the activate battle step.
So here I swing first with my leader. It is -5 right now, and I combo up to uh paid one. I don't know. Oh, I get a double strike. So I made it 20k double strike, and this is just to get you to. Why did I tap one? Yeah. Sorry. But that was just to get you to use your leader's ability. It was to. I didn't want to expend the Z energy for it, and then I played the Ascension Run for 2 energy and going with the triple strike. And here's where this kind of pops up. You go to combo and ultimately you're trying to figure out like what's the best bet. You're talking about how you should have Z charged this card instead, and you combo up here, and then you couldn't combo out.
Yeah, and I should have, if again, I pay the energy for the Goku Black, I draw a card. But actually, after we go off camera, Bancroft and I did play it out to see what would have happened.
And here it is
And
right
while I
here.
would have gotten out of the attack, he wins regardless.
I had the Vegeta left, which you had no cards in hand. First attack being 15, 20, and then second attack being at least 30. But that is today's video. Thank you for all for tuning in. Keep minders buttons, links down below. Feel free to click there for a reason. And like always, bye.